Price. He's got scratching his ride. He's scratching that ride. Money on my mind. He's scratching that ride. What's good? Fucking laughing and he's scratching on the ride.
Late night, what's the price? Chopping, finessing, jugging all my life. Up in the kitchen, gotta whip it right. And I done seen the life before I lived it. Money on my mind. How you gonna shine if you ain't gonna put in time? She just want my time, but maybe I'll be on my grind. You see these niggas, they ain't real, they in disguise. Late night, what's the price? Late night.
Yeah, it's just a coffee. Thank you. Have a good one.
Right to the heart, ain't got no price. Gotta keep it on me in my city, it ain't nice. Before I live that life, I already done seen that life. They love you when you down, when you up to change your nigga mind. Free the gang, they tryna separate us up with time. And I can't give up all my time, it's gon' fuck up my grind. My youngins really on it, they just steady tryna ride. My niggas, they some shooters, ain't scared to let it go on sight. Sitting in the trap and man, it's been a couple nights. And I'm feeling dirty, but my pockets looking right. I ain't tryna wife her, but she might just for the night. Lil' bro hit me up like I need the pull for the night. So I let her perk say, don't say a word when you slide. Late night, what's the price? Chopping, finessing, jugging all my life. Up in the kitchen, gotta whip it right. And I done seen the life before I lived it. Money on my mind. How you gonna shine if you ain't gonna put in time? She just want my time, but baby, I'll be on my grind. You see these niggas, they ain't real, they in disguise. Late night, what's the price? Cruisers, cruising, 14 on the strip of the Reuben. These times I was just a minor, out of town, no tells my guardian. Never had no time to party and never had no time to follow friends. Let me just run up them bands. Baby, I'm better than all your man. She went from 5 to 10, met her at 5 and 10. Made her stop finding them. I deal with 5s and 10s, racking it up, dodging the cops, not trying to get knocked again. I took his bitch, took her down south, then gave her back again. Who living again? Who out of town again? I got him panicking, they cannot handle it. You don't put in no work, ain't doing no dirt. Tell me what's happening. Why is you hanging? Why is you banging? Throwing my cash like Manning. After muscling bagging, walk out the trap, I'm laughing. And I'm doing the dash and shit. I was straight from my half to zip. Get the package and vanish it. I be up on the
Suck my dick.
late night trafficking. Late night, what's the price? Chopping, finessing, jugging all my life. Up in the kitchen, gotta whip it right. And I done seen the life before I lived it. Money on my mind. How you gonna shine if you ain't gonna put in time? She just want my time, but baby, I'll be on my grind. You see these niggas, they ain't real, they in disguise. Late night, what's the price? What's the price?
All my niggas walk through, call me Mr. Walk Through. You can't do what I do. If I spin the block, I'ma spin it 3 times. It's just me and J5. It can't be a homicide. Walk a drive-by. All my niggas walk through, call me Mr. Walk Through. You can't do what I do. If I spin the block, I'ma spin it 3 times. It's just me and J5. It can't be a homicide. Nigga street if you would, connected like Wi-Fi. I be running with some 30s, nigga. I got my time. Anytime, make a nigga flex up like Popeye. Hot bros locked up, cause they like the pop guys. Top, put a roller window down, shot your mouth, my block a block, BK to the 6 top, shot time. These niggas actors, get these niggas out there. Niggas bringing the finesse for the banjo. Niggas got it fucked up, flexing for these panholes. Big rocket in my pocket, got my pants low. Young hood, fake, blue strings like a banjo. All my niggas walk through, call me Mr. Walk Through. You can't do what I do. If I spin the block, I'ma spin it 3 times. It's just me and J5. It can't be a homicide. Know how it goes. your door. Don't know, shoot first, nigga, check the score.
There still be a lot of rappers and gas.
I'm like, whoa, you know how it goes. You don't wanna see my demons pull up to your door. And all I know is shoot first, nigga, check the score. And all I know is grind hard just for all my bros. I'm like, whoa, you know how it goes. You don't wanna see my demons pull up to your door. And all I know is shoot first, nigga, check the score. And all I know is grind hard just for all my bros. I lost so many, that's why I wrote a semi. You say you got shooters, nigga, we got plenty. All my niggas live off that mad Henny. Bro, see, do a drill, bring the clip empty. All my shooters ride till the wheels fall off. You say you doing drills, nigga, just knock it off. I got some real shooters that will kill for shirt off. 10 minutes on your block, and then you know we scared off. You took me as a joke, now a nigga buzzing. You think I'm Sean Mike's the way I be stunning. We be sipping clear water like it's nothing. And you ain't doing drills, nigga, you just bluffing. I'm like, whoa, you know how it goes. You don't wanna see my demons pull up to your door. And all I know is shoot first, nigga, check the score. And all I know is grind hard just for all my bros. I'm like, whoa, you know how it goes. You don't wanna see my demons pull up to your door. And all I know is shoot first, nigga, check the score. And all I know is grind hard just for all my bros.
Got me with them savages, best believe they ain't having it. If I tell my broski, go get the burner, he grabbing it. Once they apply that pressure, I guarantee you can't handle it. Turn you to strand of cannabis, you don't need more than bandages. It don't even matter, mistakes we keep the ladder. My only kind of body in morning took a shahada. We posted in the plaza, like Kirby keep the hammer. My dudes they with the shits, they can't do the camera. If you're just a team, then you gon' be in an ashtray. I would go with more detail, but love shit that I can't say. My demons at the door.